as well. Yeah, it's
on
sort
the
of an
shores of beautiful Kootenay Lake, right?
You bet. Yeah.
And we're at a place called the Glass House.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just get a little of this
Sure.
grounds here. And we have a whole house that's made out of bottles, right?
You bet. Yeah, they're all empty and balmy fluid bottles, as I mentioned before. The man who built the house, his name was Mr. David H. Brown.
Yeah.
He was a retired funeral director from Red Deer, Alberta.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was in the funeral business for over 35 years there. And in that time, as I said before, he saw these bottles being thrown away all the time. And all the funeral homes used to do it, and he sort of figured there had to be a practical use for them, so he kind of started to experiment with them, try and figure out the easiest thing to use them for. And when he found that it would be possible to build with them in a large structure like a home, like the bottles would withstand the seasonal changes and what he would use for insulation and things like that. Once he had it all planned and figured, he started to travel across Western Canada collecting all the bottles. He stockpiled them for close to 10 years, and then eventually he made it out here along the lake, and in 1952 he started to build this private retirement home for him and his wife.
Oh, so this wasn't built till the 50s, huh?
Yeah, early 50s. Lived in the house for about 10 years, but it only took a couple to find out that it wasn't going to be private for very long. They were quite surprised how many people were stopping, and you know.
Like too much of a tourist attraction.
Yeah, it drew in a lot of people. They were always curious to know what it looked like inside and would always want to ask a few questions. And so they started touring people through, and after living in it a couple of years, they decided to open it up to the public for half the year.
Yeah.
And that's when it became a seasonal tourist attraction. They spent 16 years on the grounds afterwards, which are towers and terraces, and lookouts over the lake, flower gardens, things like that. And then Mr. Brown, he passed away in 1970, and his son and daughter-in-law own the business now. It's been their livelihood ever since. And Mrs. Brown, she still comes back in the winter months, and she lives in the house. She takes advantage of the off-season there. And then there's 2 staff members who live up here when we're open, so it's used all year round still. There's close to 600,000 bottles in the house and grounds now. It's over 250 tons of glass. So it's getting to be quite a bit.
Well, mainly I think I'm wondering, do you get the benefit of the light because the bottle is transparent?
Well, actually, I find it all inside here.
Oh, so you don't get the benefit of the light?
No.
Just
But
all wood?
One of the best benefits, though, you get is that he left all the caps on the bottles.
Yeah.
Well, that creates a dead air space inside of them. And that's what acts as the insulation. Yeah, it's perfect, actually. It's equivalent to almost 2 feet of the fiberglass insulation today. So it's pretty efficient.
So it's same as 2 feet of fiberglass, huh?
The master bedroom there is a good example of what the 3 main rooms are like. They're all circular in shape like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the reason Mr. Brown did this was he wanted to make them as large as possible with the amount of area he had to work with.
Oh, I see.
This room here would have been a 9 by 9 square, but being circular in shape, it has a 14-foot in diameter. So it just makes for a bit more space around the edges.
Yeah, if you have round furniture.
Oh, actually,
furniture.
no, they found it really easy to space their furniture.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, yeah.
Well, they don't have much in there. I mean, it seems like if he made a square room, he would have been just comfortable, right?
Well,
He missed a few.
Oh, I don't know, sir. They could have been quite a bit in there without it looking too cluttered. The living room has quite a bit of furniture.
The living room?
Yeah, it's the largest room of the house. On the far wall there is a grandfather clock. It's over 250 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
From where?
Traced back to England.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And still keeps pretty good time. Be accurate. To the right of that, the hanging chandelier, the lamp above the peacock,
Yeah.
it's over 150 years old.
Hmm.
It used to be coal oil, but of course was converted, so it was a little easier to use.
Yeah.
And the two big doors to your right here, behind the couch, outfolds a Murphy bed for extra sleeping.
Oh yeah. Like a guest room?
Mm-hmm. Guest bed.
Convertible guest room.
And the fireplace there, that heats the entire house during the winter.
Oh really?
It's the main heat source, yeah. So it
And still is?
sure is, yeah.
Oh.
During the winter, it is. In summer, we usually don't need it, but we have this as sort of a backup in case the staff members get cold.
Well, seems like it's cold in this house in the winter.
Oh, no, actually it keeps really quite nice. Yeah, really mild winters. Like
Oh, is
we
this
rarely
the guy
get
here?
below 0. Yeah. There's a picture of him there. And there are a couple of rooms that are kept private for our use during the season. One of them is the washroom right here. And there's also an upstairs bedroom. And you'll see a door here just beside the fridge. And that's where it leads to. Up into the kitchen here.
Oh, well, we got a little round kitchen here.
You bet, a quaint little one.
And they can eat breakfast and
You bet, have a beautiful view. Well,
look
it's got
out
a
of the
little
window.
misty out there right now. Oh, you bet.
Nice view of the lake, huh?
Yeah, yeah, we're about 150 feet from it up here, so it makes for a nice one. There's some moisture here this morning. Clean all the windows again. Okay, just out the back door here. Down to your right, there's a pictorial history inside. It just shows all the changes over the years from before you started. There's a guest book in there. Feel free to sign that if you like. And then from here you have the whole place to yourself and you can just wander around the grounds for as long as you like.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The beginning, 1952. Bottle work started. Cement and sand. Fireplace. Floor joist laid. Ticket booth. Front view, 1955. Patio. Looks like he ran a little short of bottles.
Well, I guess if a guy had a bunch of bottles, one guy might decide to build a house with them.
Yeah. Milk bottles. Some people think they are.
Well, whiskey bottles would have worked too, right? Square
Oh,
whiskey
sure,
bottles?
sure. You bet.
Because they're longer. But there must be one rule about living in a house like this, right?
Don't throw stones?
Don't throw stones.
No doubt. Don't throw rocks.
Glass house.